Hello, it is lovely to see you all, and hello also to Peter back in the studio in Heidelberg in Germany.
Hello everybody, greetings from Heidelberg, welcome.
Hello everyone again, and our program today starts in Leipzig with some Bach. Then we visit Schubert in Vienna, and finally we have Ravel and Chopin in Paris. Right now we are in Leipzig in 1726, and Bach had moved there 3 years earlier, and he would live here in Leipzig for the rest of his life. You can see him there in the picture. Last month I played you a French suite by Bach, and this is a very similar sort of piece, although it is called a Partita. It is basically a collection of French dances. The only movement which isn't a dance is the first one, which is a prelude, as you can see there on the program underneath the Partita, number 1 in B-flat major. Now this Partita marks a very special moment in Bach's life. It is the very first composition he published under his own name. Nowadays we think of Bach as this enormous giant of music who overshadowed everyone else, but in his lifetime he was actually considered an eccentric and distinctly second-rate German composer. The fact that he was so innovative and groundbreaking counted against him in his own day. So he was already in his 40s when he published this Partita very modestly as his Opus 1. The fact that it is in B-flat is no accident, because B-flat is actually a B in German and symbolizes Bach's own name. He often used his own name in his compositions. He must have played it in the Leipzig coffee house where he held regular concerts. You can see it in the picture there next to Bach's portrait. It doesn't exist anymore because it was destroyed in the Second World War, but Bach held regular concerts there, and yeah, I think he must have played this Partita there as well. It's a very attractive and beautiful piece in the elegant French style, and at its heart is a wonderful slow Sarabande. You can see it there as the 4th movement of the piece. And it finishes with a very quirky gigue. You could think of it as an Irish jig. Here Bach uses a bit of a pianistic party trick, where the hands cross over each other very quickly.
And that was the Bach Partita in B flat. Hello, Canny. Hello, Klaus. Nice to see you. Oh, Sarah, lovely to see you too. Hello, Juno. Great. It's lovely to see so many of you. Oh, thank you, Marilene, from Cologne, I think. Oh, very nice. Yes, this was our warm-up piece. Although it's quite a long warm-up piece, it's a beautiful partita, really, this one. And we're actually staying in the key of B flat major now, but we're having very different kind of music. It's written almost exactly 100 years later than the Bach, and we're now, of course, in Vienna with Schubert, and it is the winter of 1827. Oh, thank you very much, Adrian and Rachel, for your comments. That's lovely. So Schubert is now in the last 1.5 years of his life. He had 1.5 years after the death of Beethoven, and he was writing music at an incredible rate. It is amazing how much fantastic music he wrote in those last 18 months of his life. It is as if the death of Beethoven finally set him free. And here's another one of his impromptus. Now, the title Impromptu seems to suggest something quite free and improvised, so it's a little bit misleading in this case, because it is actually a set of 6 very carefully crafted variations on a theme which Schubert himself had written. Now, writing such a set of 6 variations was something that Mozart and Beethoven did frequently and to a very high standard. Now, Schubert, on the other hand, didn't write many variations, but he really takes up the challenge here and creates a real masterpiece. First, you hear the theme, which Schubert had originally written for orchestra, but he adapts it beautifully to the piano. It was part of initially the theme was part of a stage music for a play called Rosamunde, but Schubert's music still survives, and it is very nice. It's worth listening to the orchestral original as well. But the theme is, as I said, is beautifully adapted to the piano. And then you hear the 6 variations, each one of them, you could say, a miniature masterpiece in its own right. At the end, the theme returns, but it's played lower, down in the bass and more slowly, and the whole piece finishes very quietly.
Oh, thank you, Moto. It's very nice. Oh, thank you, Iga. That's lovely to see your comments. Oh, wow. Yes, Alan, very nice. I know. Yes, we had to cancel that concert last year. It's very sad, but I'm hoping to come back, of course. And there are signs of spring. Oh, Esther, hello, and Nani, very nice. Nice to see you. Oh, thank you, Rachel. And this Schubert always takes me to another world. It's just an amazing piece. Thank you, Paul, from Exeter. It's really nice to see you all again and to be in touch with you through this interactive concert. It means a lot to me, and hopefully I'll see you all soon in person at actual live concerts. Now we moving on to the Ravel. You can see him there in his young days. He's a bit of a dashing young man, and this is one of his early pieces, the Jeux doux, which means fountains. And we're coming now to Paris from Vienna. We're joining Ravel for this piece. Now, Jeux doux was actually the very first impressionistic piano piece. And Ravel was very proud of this achievement because he basically was 2 years ahead of Debussy. Now, Debussy's first impressionistic piano piece was Reflet dans l'eau, which I played in the last concert. And Debussy had, of course, written other impressionistic music, but in the field of piano music, Ravel got there just slightly before him. So it's nice to actually contrast the Reflet dans l'eau from the last concert with the Jeux doux today, yeah? Because it's such a beautiful piece, and it was my Viennese grandmother's favorite piano piece. And whenever I play it, to be honest, I feel I'm playing it a little bit for her. So you might think then that this piece could not possibly have shocked anyone, but you're mistaken. Because when it was first performed in Paris, it was criticized as a terrible cacophony. In German, we would say a Katzenmusik, a cat's music. And because people were not used to these new sounds, just as they had rejected impressionistic paintings initially. Now, Ravel said that he was quite simply inspired by the sound of water and the music of fountains, cascades, and streams. He said that it should be played very sweetly. That's what you look there, that's what Très, doux means, and that's what I'll be trying to do now. that was Ravel's Jeux. And it's over to Pete. Oh, thank you, Julia. That's lovely. Thank you for Munich. Yes, thank you, Adrian. It's a wonderful piece. It's so original and innovative, really, what Ravel created there. And I'll hand back to Peter in the studio for a moment now.
Thank you, Valentin. As usual, just to give you a short break, I'm introducing the next program. There was a comment in the beginning of this concert, I didn't put it here, that there was one of the links wrong. So for the people who needed a few seconds to find the actual concert on YouTube, sorry from our side. We'll try to improve. I think finally everybody found this concert on Facebook or on YouTube. Of course, we will still be very grateful if you promote these events, if you invite your friends, if you recommend the concerts and subscribe. We have the next concert only in 4 weeks' time. This is basically due to vacation on my side, but I think Valentin was also happy to have a short rest. I can imagine it's quite a lot of work to bring every 2 weeks another 40, 45 minutes of music on this level. So next concert will be on the 13th of June, same time, 15:30 London time, 16:30 our time, with 6 pieces, 6 composers, and I think a very nice program. And maybe Valentin, we will also do for one of the pieces in the meantime introduction video, which we will be sending through the Facebook and email channels. Yeah, that's from my side. Again, thanks for joining today, and back to Valentin. I will just here bring in the comments, because it's nice to have all these comments always included. And then over to you, Valentin.
Thanks, Peter. And now we're at the end of our concert. Now you can hear me again. Can you? Good. We're at the end of our concert, and we have the Heroic Polonaise by Chopin. He didn't call it heroic himself, but it's just a nickname it has acquired. It's one of those pieces that we simply cannot miss in our Sunday Piano Classic series. It was actually requested by one of our regular listeners, Rochelle Marks. You could say it is the very definition of what you call a war horse. So many of the great pianists have played it, and it's actually interesting that there are so many different interpretations of it. I'm now adding my own to this, and I just want to explain to you a little bit what my thinking behind it is. I believe that Chopin wrote it as a tribute to Poland, which was then under Russian occupation. When he left Poland as a young man to make his way to Paris, his friends were already plotting an uprising against the Russians and urged him to leave before, because they thought it would be too dangerous for him to stay in Warsaw. That uprising failed, and Chopin wrote the Revolutionary Study in response. This Polonaise is actually 10 years later, and I think that Chopin still harbored hopes of a national liberation for his people. What happens in the piece is that we have a short introduction which leads to the Polonaise itself, which is a rather glorious Polish dance. And when it finishes, a new section in a completely different key begins. There's some octaves in the left hand which start out quietly and then gradually get louder and louder. It is easy to hear this as a bit of a cavalry charge, but it doesn't actually lead to the kind of climax that we would expect. It is as if Chopin is suddenly pointing in a different direction, and the music becomes suddenly more peaceful and also mournful at the same time. Because after all, fighting had failed last time, but that does not mean it would be the only way to bring about change. So I think that this piece is, in its own subtle way, a plea for peace. and that was the Polonaise. Ah. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Ah, wow. Thank you, Ertan. That's very nice. Yes, it's an amazing piece. It takes so much out of you, and I really didn't feel like I was at home anymore, because it does take you really to a concert hall. This piece, it's just fantastic. There's so much to it, and every time it's a different experience. Oh, thank you, Marilyn. Yes, no, it is. Thank you, Nina. Yes, it's got so much energy, and really he's put everything into it. And thank you, William. That's great. Oh, thank you, Adrian. I will, as usual, play you a short little encore. There's no way really to top this Polonaise, of course, but I will carry on in the same key in A flat major with another piece by Chopin. Thank you, Alan and Marilyn. That's lovely. But you'll hear one of his earliest pieces, actually, and it's an etude in A flat major from Opus 10, it's number 10. Here we go. Sorry. Thank you so much for listening, and I really look forward to seeing you all back for the trip to Vienna. Karsten, hello. Lovely to see you. So next week it'll be in 4 weeks' time it'll be very different. Oh, thank you, Rachel. That's lovely. Great.
Yeah, so
Yes.
also thank you from my side, and I wish everybody a nice Sunday afternoon. Congratulations to Valentin, and thank you for the concert today. And we see each other on Sunday, 13th of June, the next recital.
Thank you very much from me. It's lovely to see you. Thank you, Sarah, Paul, all of you. And I look forward to to seeing you in 4 weeks' time with new pieces. Bye-bye.